What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we gotta talk about the potential final character reveal for Hogwarts Legacy, at least in this friend group, right? So we got Poppy. I think a lot of us, once the Wednesday thing happened, I think we kind of assumed, okay, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So let's read over her description, but I also want to read out Chandler's tweet, because it does seem like this could potentially be it. They may not give us that fourth student, but of course that'll be a topic for us to debate very soon. So Poppy tweeting, Poppy is a bright and compassionate girl with extensive knowledge of and a deep love for creatures. In fact, she believes creatures have far more redeeming qualities than most people, and has a particular aversion to poachers and those who work with them. So, couple different things to point out. Number one, she's looking a little like evil in this picture. Obviously there's the online memeing kind of thing that goes on with her character, in that she could be like a secret villain, but she looks like not as innocent as she normally looks, like the main picture that goes around. This doesn't, obviously it's the same face, but it just doesn't look necessarily the same. And then really, she, I would say, has the least amount of maybe new info, right, regarding a character. The one thing to throw in there, right, is we talked about Natsai on Wednesday, and I had brought up, well, maybe she is somehow attached to the poaching. I literally brought up the poaching with the hippogriffs, and maybe they don't each have to give us a spell, right? So like Sebastian, his purpose beyond his quest line probably is to teach us Crucio, right? He's going to give us something that we could potentially take, but you don't need to, because you don't even need to do these characters' quests. For Natsai, I don't know what she would do, especially now, because my theory could have been, well, maybe she introduces some sort of mounting. Now, of course, you'd be able to mount, creatures without her, but maybe a specific kind would only be accessible because of her. I'm starting to think that could be Poppy now. But again, it can't be something where it's a fundamental principle in this game, right? So literally flying on a mount in this game seems like you're going to get it naturally. You're not going to have to do optional quests in order to get it. Although, that could be wrong, though. Maybe you do need to do an optional quest in order to mount something. In which case, Poppy seems to be the one now that would do it. So maybe you do her quest line, and through it, she introduces you to the idea that you can ride them. Or, I mean, that's just, I guess, going along the lines of the poachers, because we saw the poachers with the hippogriff, but obviously there's a larger, probably, story in play here, that these poachers are just going after creatures in general, right? So her idea of loving them and being really against them, that could, I feel like her story, her side thing, even though it is optional, could be the most linked with the main story out of the three. Like Sebastian seems like it's very, very much a side thing, so does Natsai, but for Poppy, it seems like it could easily blend into the main story, even if it doesn't, right? So there you go. I mean, she looks great. We get a little bit more description, although it's not new. Again, it kind of just reinforces to me that these people are going to have obviously they have individual traits, right, that make them different, but also what they provide to you, let's say as a player, once you beat their quest line, that's probably different. It's not necessarily like you're going to get a spell from each of them. You could get maybe an ability or something else, like the idea of using Fantastic Beasts in the field. We see that in the State of Play, right? Maybe she's the one that now again, could she be the one to introduce you to that? Well, unless you have to do like the first quest for all these characters, right? Maybe there's like 3 quests in all, let's say, for each storyline. You have to do the first, because that's just part of meeting them and establishing them as characters. And in that first quest, they teach you something. And then if you keep going with them, maybe they teach you more, or maybe they don't, and you just learn the rest of their story through that quest. That could honestly be how they do it as well. They require that you play their missions, at least the first one, and then you have the option for the rest of the stuff. Now, as for Chandler's tweet, just to kind of throw it in there really, really quickly, he says, "It's been so much fun to start revealing new information and teasing details about your classmates in Hogwarts Legacy this week. So impressed with the interesting stories being told with these characters' side quests." So a little bit more of the that we're going to get quite a bit of information by doing their side quests. But that first sentence, right? Start revealing new information and teasing details about your classmates this week. So it doesn't sound like it's continuing, right? At least that's how I read it. It doesn't sound like they're going to continue into next week. And that's something we had talked about, right? I think maybe on both Monday and Wednesday's video, we talked about the idea that maybe you hide that fourth character until the very end, and you purposely do that. Now, whether you do that because they're so important, or they're more important, let's say, than these other 3, or you're just doing it to have something remain secret, right? There's 4 of them in all. You don't want to give all 4 away before the game comes out, so you give us 3. Now, I would have maybe done like 2. You would have done half, right? So you have the other half that would be, you wouldn't know going in ahead of time, but this is probably the path they chose, right? So honestly, I lean towards that one. I don't assume that the 4th character is, again, like somehow more important than the other 3. I think in a way they'll be more impactful because they were hidden, but ultimately I think they literally wanted to do this. They wanted to show us friends, and so they picked 3 of them, so at least that one won't be known going into the game, and that's the angle I'm going to assume that they took. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. If you want to follow or support me anywhere else, all my social media is in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.